Put on your big Hollywood sunglasses and light the torch, because it's cellar time. Welcome to the Crack Cellar, as the prophecy was once foretold. I'm Two-Spirit Penguin Daniel.
And I'm Fat Vapor Nick. Damn, that one kind of hit me.
And today, broadcaster, we will cover the new American classic, Super Mario Brothers. Super Mario World. Is it Brothers or World? It's Brothers, right?
Super Mario Bros.
Super Mario Bros. Movie. The sequel to the John Leguizamo classic of 1990.
And why do you keep saying John Leguizamo, man? Mario is the headliner,
Broadcaster Nickels.
You're disrespecting the late fucking Roger Rabbit actor. I don't know his name, but god damn it, you won't disrespect him.
John Hopkins.
God damn it. He had the last name.
Something Hopkins. The dude was a badass for sure.
Please don't tell me he died of cancer.
But I mean, like, let's be real to start off. Like, the original Mario Brothers movie, 10 out of 10. So, like, how do you compare this new one? Like, 6 out of 10 in comparison? Without John Leguizamo, that's all they could really hope for, right?
Well, seeing how I don't like John Leguizamo anymore, I would say it's for the best that he wasn't in this movie.
He was too busy filming The Pest 2.
Dude, do you follow that guy? Have you ever looked into that guy at all?
Yeah, he's a steaming dumpster fire.
He's very sanctimonious person.
I know.
For being a small little Spaniard man.
I know, and the thing that I will remember most about the early days of the marketing era of this movie, the Super Mario Brothers movie, is listening or more reading quotes from John Leguizamo.
Oh, that's where this is coming
talking
from.
About, I won't watch this movie. Mario, or they had a real chance to have representation in this Latino representation in this movie, and they refused to. And I'm just sitting here thinking, first of all, I hate all identity politics, but if you're gonna do that shit, wouldn't it be Italian representation, Broadcaster Nickels, not fucking Latino?
You know, I'm not going to judge someone's education or even maybe their prior work, but I'm pretty sure you're onto something there. Yeah. Yeah. I'm almost positive.
The man is stupid enough to break your brain.
Listeners, I'm telling you, if you're listening to this right now, just look up John Leguizamo stand-up.
Oh,
I think he has two different specials that are high budget specials. Like clearly there was money behind it. Like they were trying to prop him up or something. It's not like bad jokes as in like no one's laughing because they didn't get the punchline. It's just a poorly crafted. He literally, like, one of the specials is like a political, like, I don't think identity politics was too big back then, but it was, if I remember correctly, it like was hit. The theme was he was a teacher, and the back of the stage was a chalkboard, and he was like all the comedy bits had something to do with race and you not getting it type of thing. Mm-hmm. And it was such a bad look. It was the first time in my life where I'd seen anything of his outside of movies, and it really changed my perspective on him. Because then I looked into him a little bit more, and then I started looking at interviews, and I was just like, oh, this guy is crazy.
He's a fucking nut job, dude. He's a straight up nut job, and I
it's a shame. He's one of my favorite actors. Yeah, he's one of my favorite actors back in the day.
The dude, I don't know if he just like smoked too many formaldehyde joints or what, but the dude is lobotomized. And
it's a product of your bubble, dude.
It's fucking crazy. No, dude, there's plenty of bubble people that aren't that nuts, dude. Leguizamo is a special kind of nuts.
It's a balance of the individual and the bubble. Like, certain people are just more extremist than other people.
Let's put it this way. John Leguizamo makes Jim Carrey look like a straight man in terms of crazy factor.
Yeah.
And that's hard to do because Jim Carrey's a fucking nut job. I love him, but he's a fucking nut job.
Well, let's not also forget that one of his most famous movies is about rich white people hunting him down on an island.
Oh, you think that scarred him or something?
No, I think it's hypocritical.
He exploited it, and now he's
yeah, dude. So you're telling me at one point John thought read the script to the pest and was like, this is a good movie, solid script. I'm going to be a part of this. I'm going to get paid. It's because what is it? It's like he rather thought the movie had bad writing in it and he was going to do it anyways just because he needed an acting break, or he did it because he saw it and was like, this is going to be a funny fucking movie. I want to be a part of this. I'm going to make money. And now fast forward, he's just like white people bad, essentially, even though he profits from the fucking narrative. That
and the sad thing is, I don't even believe it's really heartfelt beliefs, dude. I think the dude was a has-been, and he looked at this fucking social justice wave as a way to try and get his kite back in the air.
Yeah, exactly. Wind. Remember me, guys?
Yeah.
I feel like we're getting sidetracked on John.
Yeah. Anyway, let's talk about the actual talented cast of the Mario Brothers movie. Chris Pratt. Don't say Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt is Mario, which is probably single-handedly why this movie has a 40 with the critics and a 98 with the users. I wonder what that means, Broadcaster Nickels. Do you have a translation for me?
Don't listen to critics ever. They're always wrong.
I
don't like getting my opinions from people that sit in the clouds, they don't know what it feels like to touch down on Earth,
Yeah. Chris Pratt, I think surprisingly good performance here. I was not expecting much, honestly. I didn't realize he was a skilled, because he kind of does the same voice in everything he does. I haven't seen him do different voices in anything. It's always the same sort of voice.
Wait a minute, is he a voice actor?
To my knowledge, no. This is the first time I've ever seen him voice act. So what I was expecting was Chris Pratt. I thought it was just going to sound like him from fucking Parks and Rec. You know what I mean? Just like him from Guardians of the Galaxy. I wasn't expecting it to be any different. This voice was pretty different. He put on something, and it's not an Italian accent, even though they do that in the very beginning. They kind of mock that. What did you think about that whole thing?
I thought it was pretty funny, the mocking Italian fake accents at the beginning. I thought that was pretty spot on. But honestly, as far as Chris Pratt's voice goes, I didn't watch any of the credits. I kind of glazed by it, and so I didn't realize who was voice acting at any point in time besides Chris Pratt. I was listening, and I was trying to think about it for 3/4 of the movie. I'm like, who are all these people? Sound familiar? Who are they? And then I picked up on Bowser, and it pretty much first. I was like, I'm pretty damn sure that's Jack Black, and then Charlie, Luigi, kind of disappointed myself. I was like, how did I not realize that was Charlie Day till almost the end of the fucking movie?
That was the first one I noticed. Yeah, I noticed that before they even made it to Mushroom Kingdom.
But if I was starting to think about it, I was like, if I didn't know Mario was Chris Pratt, I would have never guessed who that was.
Yep, me neither.
Yeah. Because it was it was a very non-Chris Pratt voice, or at least just. I was never exposed to Chris Pratt voice acting or trying to put on a different inflection of his voice or anything like that. So
yeah,
when he did it, I was just like, man, if I didn't know that was Chris Pratt, I would have just never even cared who it was. I would have just been like, that was a good job. I don't know who you are, but
yeah. And I think that this entire cast was really good.
Who was Peach?
Peach was Anya Taylor-Joy, which is the chick from the chess show on Netflix, Queen's Gambit.
I don't know.
Super hot. And when I first heard, because I already knew she played Princess Peach because I saw a news story a long time ago about her being cast. When I first heard that she was cast, I thought it was a live action movie because of how similar she looks to Princess Peach. Literally, you will look up a picture of her and you will look at her and you will say, she is the closest thing to a real life Princess Peach I have ever seen in my life. So it was wild that they cast her and then it ends up being voice acted. So they don't even get to use the fact she looks just like her.
Yeah.
So that's something I remember about the early days of this movie being.
I remember Gandalf. I
I
was
didn't
there.
know Jack Black was Bowser until the end when he started singing and doing the
Yeah,
piano stuff. Then I was like, oh, that's
yeah.
Jack Black.
I picked up on it, but as soon as the piano scene hit, I was like, yeah, I'm dead. I'm 100%. That's 100.
Yep.
That was also almost. It was good. Don't get me wrong. I got nothing against like Jack Black as a singer. I'm not a real big fan of his acting per se. Like I wasn't a huge fan of School of Rock and shit like that. It was an all right movie, but
Mhm.
nothing groundbreaking for me. But
Yeah.
I gotta say, Bowser like doing the piano thing. While it was, I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty funny. It was almost like not really the character. I don't know.
Well,
Mario's
no.
been a big part of my life, so as soon as Bowser started singing like that, I was like, "This is funny, no doubt." But that isn't Bowser. What
Well,
the fuck is going on? Am I missing a
okay.
game where Bowser
You
was
are.
a fan of the
You
arts?
so this I don't want to say this movie is based on Mario Odyssey, but it has a couple of key things that are exactly from Mario Odyssey, the Switch Mario game.
Is Odyssey the city one where you throw the hat?
Yes.
Okay.
So in that game, and the main thing is Bowser himself. So the whole premise of Odyssey is that this time Bowser kidnaps Peach, but this time it's to marry her. And there's this big wedding, and you're chasing him and his groom party across the world to chase him down to the wedding where he's gonna force Peach to marry him. That's literally the story of the movie too.
Okay.
Now it's like they kind of change because it's not a game. Obviously, there's not going to be like 10 worlds like there was in Odyssey or 15 worlds or whatever. So it's
Well,
a
I
little
thought.
different, but it's
Oh.
the same overall story.
Hmm.
And he does dress like that whole like suit, like that like sort of cartoony wedding suit he wears straight out of the game Odyssey.
Well, that I mean, I'm not unused to seeing Bowser and the other characters in different costumes and shit, but it was just like the character bat, like when he started like doing the piano and singing and being Jack Black essentially, I was just like, this isn't really like a Bowser I've ever seen.
No, and that's the
It's just
part that is
yeah.
definitely not in Odyssey. There
Yeah,
is no
like
piano breakdowns with Jack Black.
just like I mean, again, maybe I might be mistaken, but I never seen this version of Peach either. I have never seen the cucked Mario Superstar Peach. Because I mean, it was cool. It was well crafted. I liked the movie.
Mhm.
But the one thing that stood out to me was it was kind of an Uno reverse card for the game.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, so Mario's kind of the idiot that needs saving most of the time, and Peach is the real hero here saving the day until the very end where Mario gets his spot, you know?
Well, no, I mean, yeah, pretty much. Peach is the badass at first because she's been there and he knows nothing. He's brand new to
Right.
the
But
world, and then as he learns, then he becomes the dude at the end.
yeah,
So it's
that's my
natural
point though.
progression.
Like
Yeah,
that's my point is like it's the exact opposite of the game. Like the
it is.
game, Mario's already a badass. Peach never teaches him anything. In fact, Peach is the one that needs rescuing and is helpless, you know? It's like the whole
Yeah.
premise.
Well, I mean, essentially, this movie is supposed to be a prequel, I guess, to the original Super Mario Brothers game.
It is?
I guess because Super Mario was already in Mushroom Kingdom in the original Mario Brothers game, and it was to save a princess, Peach. Now, obviously, NES games weren't huge on lore, especially
Yeah.
the
I guess
original
you're
Super
right. I
Mario
guess they could
Brothers.
yeah.
But the premise stands. It seems like Mario was a denizen of the Mushroom Kingdom, not someone who just arrived and was confused about what was going on.
Exactly.
So this is a prequel.
There was no Earth in the original games. That was the reality for everybody. They were all
Right.
characters in the same universe.
And what do you think about that? Like the fact that they always sort of have to like bring the real world into it. They did it in the 1990 classic with John Leguizamo, of course, and they do it in this new one. Why is it we're so obsessed with tying Mario to the human world? Why can't they just make a movie where it's like the
to be
game where
honest,
it's just that world and there is no human world?
I was going to pose that question to you until you told me about Odyssey, and I realized that Odyssey was in the human world, so that kind of explains itself. You were in New York
Well,
City in Odyssey, weren't you?
kind
Don't they name
of.
drop New York City?
No, it's like new. It's called like New Donk City or something like
New
that.
Donk City.
It's it's
That sounds bad.
it, it's dude. No, it's not the human world. It's the Mushroom Kingdom, but in a really stylized way, and it just has certain levels that have sort of human world architecture. Like New Donk City is modeled off after like a New York style city. But it's not New York, and it's not the human world. So it's I don't know. Fucking Mario stories are weird.
Yeah, and that's why I don't really hold my breath too much with the whole movie, is because I'm not going to sit here and try to like critique Mario lore, what timeline this is based on, or some Zelda fucking shit where people are like, "There's 3 timelines," or whatever. I'm not going to do that shit. But that was just things that stood out to me initially. I was just like seeing how like it was a very modern take, obviously, on the story. And I think that's why Peach is kind of done the way she is, you know. They're like trying to dial back the helplessness of the woman, even though she is the princess and she, you know, she does need the help and she does get captured. It's not like in the same extreme as the game where it's just like the man is the, you know, Mario is the dude and princess is the chick that needs help type of thing. That cut and dry, you know. They really tried to, I don't know. I guess, like I said, just dial it back a little bit, and I noticed that quite a bit, especially in the scene where, the Mario Kart scene, where like all of them are like building their cars and stuff like that, and Peach just gets this badass outfit change, you know, with the sleek motorcycle clothes and her pink awesome speed bike and stuff, and Luigi and Mario just gets like the car like he does in the game, no change of clothes. He's just like, I mean, it's traditional, don't get me wrong, that's how he is represented in the game, but it's just like I see those juxtapositions, you know, where it's like, okay, it's like just like the vanilla dude and princess is just this badass. I know how to drive a motorcycle. I got leathers and shit like that. I do this in my free time, you know. I'm more manly than you are. Type of shit. That's how I see those things. I'm just like, that's just not, I mean, I'm nowhere near a shut-in. I talk to people. I'm somewhat of a social person, and that's just not how women operate.
Not most of them, no.
Not most of them. Maybe Princess Peach is a badass. I'm not sure, but it's just things I notice.
Yeah, the girl power stuff didn't bother me too much, but it was noticeable, and it's sort of a weird trend with Japan I think right now that it's worrying me a little bit.
My favorite part of the movie, though, was Toadstool.
Oh, yeah.
Toadstool and the Donkey Kingdom, DK, was probably the coolest parts of the movie for me.
I mean, I liked the whole movie. There wasn't a single part I really didn't like. Even like the throwaway part where Princess Peach is training Mario on how to be Mario, basically, with like that little obstacle. Like, it just reminded me, everything about this game or this movie reminded me of the game. And that's something that should be a given with movies based on games, but it isn't usually at all. Like, just even though the Tomb Raider movie with Angelina Jolie, the original, was a pretty decent movie, you watch it, it's like, it's not going to remind you of the game at all. Like,
no.
not in the least. The original Mario Brothers movie had absolutely nothing to do with the game. Like, it was like not even in the same universe. Like, most of these video game movies are just, they don't make you feel like you're connected to the game. Like, this movie does in spades.
Well, this movie is rare in the fact that it's actually a CGI video game movie. That's a rarity. If you really think about it, most video game movies are live action. And they're cursed with the curse of live action video game / anime adaptations. They're just fucking terrible.
You ready for One Piece?
No, dude, I don't watch live action anime, dude.
Oh, dude, you're watching.
No fucking
dude,
way,
we're reviewing
dude.
That shit. You're watching it.
No way, dude. No fucking way. I don't waste my time with that garbage. Dude. The last one I did was Death Note, and I did that just because how good Death Note was. And to this day, I wish I didn't watch it. It just is so, like
it was that bad,
dude. I put live action anime on the same page as like people that watch soap operas. They're in
Wow.
fucking denial with themselves. Like they are watching absolute garbage. They need to go outside and breathe some air.
All right, man, calm your tits, okay?
Dude, live action anime is the absolute biggest waste of money. I don't care how good the IP is. You could tell me they're going to make a Hellsing live action. You could tell me they're going to make a fucking Cowboy Bebop live. Oh, wait a minute. Whatever it is. Doesn't matter how great the fucking IP was. Somehow, some way, it is always absolutely a complete dumpster fire.
Yeah, it usually is. No, it always is. I always hear that there's a good Rurouni Kenshin one. People tell me all the time there's a really good live action Rurouni Kenshin, but I refuse. Same reason I just refuse to watch it. Like
I want you to pause real quick and Google that real quick. Search
God.
that. And as soon as you see that dude's wig, that red ponytail wig, you're gonna fucking I'm telling you, dude, you're gonna be like, those people were smoking crack.
Yeah. Well, I think you are definitely right that this being animated by the same people that make the Minions movies, by the way, and like Despicable Me and shit.
Yeah.
So like they had like OG animators behind this shit. Shigeru Miyamoto is an executive producer and apparently was really involved in this. And
sounds like a smart man.
Yeah, it seems pretty easy to tell too. Like when I see that, I'm not surprised at all because this game has the soul of Mario more than most things have a soul of anything.
Watanabe, I'm looking at you right now. You fucked up, Cowboy Bebop, son. you fucked up.
Yeah, you sold out, bro.
God.
But speaking of
just thinking about it.
Speaking of characters that stood out, you mentioned Donkey Kong, and fair is fair. We talk
took the cake though.
We talk a lot of shit about Seth Rogen here in the Crack Cellar podcast. We have not been kind to him over the years.
I'm glad you brought this up.
And fair is fair. Seth Rogen, this is the most entertaining performance you have given in 20 years, bro.
Truly.
A small golf clap.
Yep.
But let's keep it going.
For a second, I forgot I didn't like him as a person. I was just like, when I realized it was Seth Rogen, I was like, God damn it. Why is it? You know what? It's okay.
Ironically,
everything is okay.
Ironically, this is the most acting Seth Rogen's ever done in a voice acting. Like he does more acting in this voice role, the small, by the way, voice role, than he does in any live action thing he's ever starred in.
No, he has that one movie that was pure animated. It was like kind of like a sex-themed grocery store CGI movie.
I never saw that one. Was that good? Was he like really good in that?
You know what I'm talking about, right? That was a weird description of the movie.
It. I didn't watch it because I heard it was sort of like snuff filmy. Like
it had some shit in it where I was really surprised he got away with it, but this was the Harvey Weinstein Epstein days, all right? Seth Rogen was probably in a little bit on the cut. That's all I'm saying. Because there's some things said in that movie where, he definitely wouldn't condone nowadays. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
I forget. I think he's a hot dog. He's like an animated a wiener.
Yeah.
I think that has something to do with the title of the movie too. It's like Mr. I don't remember.
Yeah,
I forget.
I heard about it for sure. I never watched it though.
So I think he was the star in that. So that was a huge amount of voice acting for him.
Yeah, you're missing. Yeah, that's not really what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that he does like actual acting. I don't consider every word he says on screen acting. I consider like the things that are actually good and believable as acting. And you combine like 6 of his movies, his last 6 live action movies, it combined, he does more acting in this little 20-minute role in this Mario movie in terms of quality acting. That's my take. But, maybe there's some fucking giant fans of Seth Rogen out there that'll no. There's this one movie that you missed. Maybe it was that fucking banana movie where he's a banana. I don't know. But...
yeah, something like that. I think most people would agree he fell off after Green Hornet.
Yeah, the last thing I remember actually enjoying him in was fucking Superbad, and that came out in like 2008 or something.
Yeah, and that was I mean, he was in a crap ton of movies that were all right, in my opinion, even after that. But it's funny that it's the last thing you can really remember him in popping off.
Well, like I remember enjoying him in.
That's what I'm saying. Like actually, like notable to the point where you still remember it.
But
it's kind of weird, when you like actors can give you such a good performance that you're willing to just forget about all the terrible things they've said.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean,
Something to that.
I don't really listen to Seth Rogen, so I don't know, but I can assume that he's probably said a bunch of retarded things that many people in
He's
Hollywood
gone on
say.
a couple Twitter rants talking about how people shouldn't. I think there was a weird one where like this guy got his car broken into like 3 weeks in a row or something like that, and he for some fucking reason commented on it and like insinuated that like you should just not leave anything in your car that's worth stealing, and then
it's your fault for enticing them. I remember that someone I listened to Adam Carolla podcast religiously. Like I listened to every episode. He covered that in one of his episodes. That's how I know about it. They were talking about it, and Adam Carolla basically just laughed for 15 minutes at how retarded that guy is for saying that. Like cost of doing business. You want to live in LA?
Yeah, exactly.
It's the cost of doing business. Like, what,
business. That was the last time I like really paid attention to him, and it just kind of like I was like, okay, I see the type of person you are. Cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but in Jack Black, he's probably the same way. I don't pay attention. I'm assuming that he's the same way. He did pretty good in this. I think honestly, as much as I hate to say it, Charlie Day was probably one of the more mediocre performances.
Dude, I don't like how they did my boy Luigi. I'm just gonna straight up tell you, they did the Luigi dirty in this movie. They made him look like bro. What the fuck is that?
Yeah, I do like how they tied his arc into Luigi's mansion.
That was cool.
That part was fucking awesome.
Did you notice the foreshadowing to Luigi's mansion?
Do you mean when he goes into the castle and then the white face guys from Mario 2 ambush him?
Yeah, but like right after that, when they're flying away,
and he
looks back at the castle like in some weird longing way.
Mm-hmm.
Like I thought that was foreshadowing for a Luigi's type of mansion type story. Like he's gonna go back there like to conquer his fears or something.
I could see that, and for a fact this movie's getting a sequel. This movie is raking in cash now. It's broken the record for animated movies other than Frozen. It's like number 2 behind Frozen, and it's close to beating Frozen. I think when it's all said and done, it will beat Frozen.
I hope this fucking little trend just stops the MCU shit in its tracks, and people start like doing Crash Bandicoot movies and shit, because that's what we want. That's what the people want. Okay.
I just love how fruitlessly the fucking media is just trying to stop this movie from being a success, and it's just like it doesn't fucking matter. Everyone's going to see this movie because
is the media really trying to stop this movie?
Oh, dude, the fucking media reviews of this fucking movie are batshit crazy, dude. They're so biased. It's so obvious that it's a political thing. They all hate Chris Pratt. They all hate Nintendo for giving the fans what they want. Like it's just the same as the Sonic the Hedgehog
just
movie.
Hates Nintendo, period.
When they redid Sonic into the good new Sonic we know now, there's ugly Sonic that we saw in the Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers movie.
Still crazy that you got away with it.
When they replaced Ugly Sonic, it was due to popular fan request, and the media screeched louder than I have ever seen them screech before when this happened. They're like, this is setting a bad precedent. You're giving toxic fandom the power back. Don't give them what they want. Like, literally, this movie is a full movie version of that one small character change in Sonic. This movie is exactly what the people want, and the fucking media are so mad that they're giving it to us, and they're so mad that this isn't just like a fucking giant agenda-driven movie themed after Mario Brothers like most fucking modern animated like Disney things are.
I think you just hit on to it, because let's be honest, back in the day, and when we were like teenagers and shit, you didn't turn Fox News or MSNBC or CNN on and see them talking about any piece of entertainment.
Fuck no.
Unless it was like religiously like catastrophic, like there was some weird like religious group out there just like using all their power in the fucking nation to try to burn a book or something like that. But as far as like actual video games, movies, shows, you didn't turn on mainstream media and see them even fucking talk. Like, it was not news. So the fact that you see news organizations talking about these pieces of entertainment just go to show you what the entertainment industry is supposed to be now.
Oh yeah.
You know,
yeah.
like
this movie
like,
is racist and ableist and sexist and every ist, even though it's a Japanese fucking game movie with fucking people of every race. Keegan-Michael Key is in this. And by the way, he does a great Toad.
That's Toad?
Yeah, man. He kicked ass as Toad.
I knew I liked, Toad was, I already said it, but Toad by far was my favorite character in this movie. He like the little psychotic spin he put on Toad was like
perfect.
What I needed to respect the character, because I was like, how's Toad gonna even be a cool character? He's always been like a weird silent fucking stare character. And he just made him a little fucking like narcissistic fucking psychopath.
Yes. He's one of the highlights of a movie that was full of highlights. So big ups to Keegan-Michael Key. He seems to be doing like the whole Jordan and Peele butterfly effect we have going on, where I think most people thought Jordan Peele was going to be the star out of the two after Key and Peele ended. The pendulum is swinging back towards Keegan-Michael Key, because Jordan Peele keeps releasing really shitty movies to the point where even people that are fans of him now, I think, are getting a little like, I don't know if I'm going to watch his next movie.
Maybe he should step back in the acting arena.
Yes.
Instead
Take
of
a note. Keegan-Michael Key is
trying to direct.
Killing it. You should be doing the same. You're just as funny as him. Wise up. That's public service.
Dude, they really were going to be the next Chappelle, dude. They kind of were. And it's like what happened? Like, it's kind of crazy to think like how quickly they fell. They fell apart quicker than Chappelle did.
Mm-hmm.
Or did they not?
Same. I think it was almost the exact same. Okay. I think they both shows had like 2 seasons or 3 seasons.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah,
it's like lightning in a bottle. They just can't hold it. Like, what is up with them?
I think it's probably they're just both have huge egos, is my guess. That's usually what happens with duos breakups. Duo breakups are always
so wait a minute,
ego issues.
Who played the Penguin King?
Penguin King was fucking what's his name?
It is but a taste of our power.
The guy from Destiny. He voice acts the
Do you yield?
Yeah, the dude that the Crucible. The same guy who does the Crucible NBC.
Oh.
Yeah, that's him, I think.
Oh, that's what's his name from The Walking Dead.
Wrong. Yeah.
That's what's his name from Walking Dead.
I think so. I could have that wrong. Don't hold me.
No, it is him. The guy with the staff. The guy that had the staff. You have to clear. You forgot to clear. Remember the guy? He's a long term.
Yeah.
That's the Crucible.
That's what I thought it was him.
What's that? Fuck's that guy? Shax? Yeah, Shax.
Yeah, I think
that's the character's name in Destiny.
Yeah, but
yeah, that kind of that's fitting. I'm like thinking about the quotes in my head from the Penguin. That might be correct. Mm-hmm. Might be on there.
Yeah. What'd you think about the music in this movie?
It was good. I mean, there was a couple generic soundtracks that they used in the movie, but they were,
I was a little
bad taste.
I was a little bummed that it wasn't just all video game music. Like they put in like real music too. Like there's a couple of songs that are just like, normal.
Well, I think they had cuts from real music, or like I should say, just movie music. Like right in the beginning with the penguins and stuff. Like when they come out and like you think they're about to do something big, and they do that bam, 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 and like it starts that beat. That's a super generic movie beat that's been used, God knows how many fucking times, but it only lasted for like 8 seconds.
Yeah. I do love all of the. Like there's a bunch of like Super Mario 3 and Super Mario 64 songs that they kind of like, they didn't really do it, but like they did like a sort of little riff on it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Did you catch any of those?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean all of them were pretty much hidden, like cell phone rings, video game noises in the background, or voices, like they had the OG Mario versus Donkey Kong game playing in the background at the beginning of the movie. Did you notice that?
I did notice that.
Yeah. And
Jumpman too.
yeah, Jumpman. And like the guy that was playing it was the original version of Mario.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's cool that they got him in there. A lot of people were pissed off that he didn't voice act Mario. What do you think about that? Would you have given it to him, or would you have went the Chris Pratt or whoever else? Name another actor, whatever.
I don't really care as long as the movie was good. I mean, just
Okay.
like transplanting the two,
Well, I'm just saying, like,
it would have felt off just to
you were in
have that
charge.
guy, that older, fucking smaller Mario with the regular Luigi. Like, it'd have to be crafted around.
No. I'm saying the voice actor, the original Mario voice actor. Would you have given him the role, or would you have given it to a real like a dude like Chris Pratt, like a Hollywood actor? Because a lot of people were kind of pissed off they didn't give it to Charles Martinet, I think is his name.
I think on the down low, I would have gave Charles a chance.
I heard they did, and they still gave it to Pratt. So
okay, well that's fair. I mean, at the end of the day, Chris Pratt's a legitimate actor who's been in multiple projects. I don't know who Charles is really, but some tells me his pedigree with Mario isn't exactly a lot of experience in the voice acting, like as a whole compared to actual voice actors, because Mario doesn't really talk. He's been doing the same iconic lines for God knows how many years, so I get it. It's your character, but at the same time, are you capable of doing, how long was the movie? Like an hour?
And there was short movie. Lot of dialogue.
Yeah.
For Mario
so it's like, I was like, give him a shot, but something tells me you probably ain't got the cut.
Yeah. I think that they made the right choice, honestly. Like, I have nothing against
they put him in the movie,
dude, but they did right by him too. So people get over that shit. I think Chris Pratt did great. I think everyone did great.
Oh yeah, for sure. I can't think of a real bad performance in the movie. That really, like, everything was super cool. Like I said, like even like the characters I thought I wasn't even gonna give a shit about ended up being my favorite. Like Toadstool. I've never picked Toadstool once in my life in Mario Party or in Mario Kart ever. Like legitimately, I stay away from him. I always thought he was a loser character. Losers pick Toadstool, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's my favorite character in this fucking movie.
Yeah, he was great. Donkey Kong was great. I will say that Cranky Kong was a little underwhelming. I think Fred Armisen phoned in his performance with Cranky Kong.
Who's Fred Armisen?
He's the fucking weird guy from Portlandia. He was on SNL.
That was Cranky Kong.
Yeah, dude. Like, do you agree with me a little bit? Because Cranky Kong, is me and you are both, aficionados of Donkey Kong Country.
Yeah.
So we're very into Cranky Kong more than maybe the average Mario fan is. I'm not sure. So I was expecting a lot when I saw Cranky Kong was king. I like jumped out of my seat. Like, yes, I was so happy that Cranky Kong was king. But then like his performance just was kind of
Well, there's not a lot of performance to go off of with Cranky Kong. At least in the first Donkey Kong countries. I don't know if the one what was it, Freeze? I never beat Freeze, but I don't remember Donkey Kong or Cranky Kong being a big part of Freeze either.
In my mind, Cranky Kong should have been voice acted by someone like Christopher Lloyd. You know what I mean?
That would have been fucking legendary. That would have been legendary, dude.
That's what the type of performance I'm looking for Cranky Kong. And Fred Armisen is a good actor. Like, I feel like he could have done something with it, but maybe I'm being too hard on him. But in a movie just full of amazing performances, his stands out as one of the more pedestrian ones with Luigi and maybe Princess too. Princess was good, but nothing special. Luigi was good, nothing special. Cranky Kong, I would say maybe a little below average. I would say close to not good. But
dude, it was pretty cool. Like, I couldn't believe all the shout outs they gave in the Donkey Kong Kingdom part. Like, you had Diddy, awesome. Dixie, Baby, and you had Donkey Kong's cousin, DK's cousin. I forget, he was like in one game. I forget where he comes from, but the guy with the white blazer, like the guy that gave him the ride. Yeah, like when I couldn't even remember that character's name. I was like, where's this guy from? I remember this. Like, that's how cool that was for me. I was like, wow, they're bringing characters back I can't even fucking remember. Yes. Like, was he from the Donkey Kong show? Is that where he's from?
I don't really remember.
Because when I saw his white blazer, I was like, my brain was just like flying. I was like, I know I can't be making this up right now. He is a character
I thought it
I
was
remember
from
from my childhood.
yeah, I thought it was from like Donkey Kong Country 3 or something.
No. Well, oh, dude, you might be right. That actually
Yeah.
might be, he wasn't dressed like that, but he might be the Donkey Kong that gives you the plane rides.
Yeah.
Because
That's
that
what
guy
my
has like a bandana with glasses on. He's like a surfer. Do you remember that? The surfer. Yeah.
That's where my head was going, but like I wasn't sure. So I
Yeah,
didn't
you
look it
might be
up or
on
anything.
that. I didn't even
But
think about that guy.
but yes, just super, super authentic from beginning to end. Like when Luigi first gets to the dark world and the first thing he does is come across the skeleton. If this were a bad video game movie, the skeleton would have been killed and then it would have just sat there and they would have ignored the identity of Mario skeletons, which they come
Yep.
back to life a few seconds later. It's that in a nutshell is what makes this movie special because it honors all of that shit, all of it. There's nothing, no man left behind.
Well, yeah, it doesn't have the disgraceful mark of someone trying to make someone else's thing their own.
Uh-huh.
You know,
How about
like
you
where
make
I
your
just
own
brought up.
thing, guy who wants to
Yeah.
ruin something?
It's like when I brought up Marathon, you know, Marathon just actually, let's just go with the whole game show press conference.
Mhm.
Snake Eater by Konami, Hideo nowhere in sight, all the original voice actors coming back. Looks cool,
Turncoats.
smells pretty fishy to me.
Mhm.
Then you got Marathon by Bungie, but Bungie isn't Bungie anymore.
Mhm.
I don't think there's one person left over at Bungie that has anything to do with Marathon.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and it like sure enough, they show what a glimpse of what Marathon's going to be in the first visual. I'm just like, red flags, red flags, red flags. Something's going on here.
Totally.
Doesn't look much like Marathon to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
reminds
it's
me
so rare.
It reminds me of Guns N' Roses. Guns N' Roses was a sick ass metal band from the 80s that had fucking just one of the greatest Western guitarists of all time. Like just Slash, like him or not, is one of the greats. And it was just an amazing band. But then Axl Rose, the lead singer, fired everybody. He got rid of Slash. He got rid of Duff McKagan. He got rid of all of the badasses in his band. He's like, I don't need you. And I own the name. And I own the name. That's what Bungie's doing right now. Bungie, they fucking fired or got rid of all the badasses that made Marathon, but now they're still calling themselves Bungie and they're still making Marathon, just like Guns N' Roses is still going on tour. And you know what people call them? Guns and posers.
Yeah.
That's what they're
exactly,
called.
Dude.
And that is exactly what Bungie is. They are the video game equivalent of that.
Yeah, it's so weird when you can just when the original version of something is so stark in comparison to the new version of it, and people like expect you to like play along with it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's the part that really like I just hate about it all. It's just like we're just like stupid to you or something. You just think like
you have to surrender your intelligence for the cult. Yeah.
They're like, well, people are going to buy it. It's like, well, yeah, people just buy video games, but that doesn't mean they're going to like Marathon or like you're going to get the people that like the original Marathon to come play your Marathon. It's a weird, it's just, I like sequels and reboots, remasters, whatever you want to call them. They just don't mean the same thing anymore. In fact, it's almost the opposite where it's like where you used to like look at a certain IP and be like, well, we're remaking it. And you're like, sweet. I get to think about that game or movie I watched or whatever. And it's just going to be in high def, essentially, you know, better looking, better than ever. Like Resident Evil 4 had, like pretty rare, but Resident Evil 4 remake. Almost, I think it's like the best version of what I'm talking about I've ever seen. But for the most part, nowadays, when someone says I'm rebooting it, we're doing a sequel or whatever, it's almost 100% guaranteed it's gonna suck. It's not even gonna be close to what you like. It's like it's like, and you don't. That's not even like hyperbolic. It's like kind of a trend. It's history. Like you can just look back and be like, well, 99% of the time you guys do this. It's rather not even close to what we saw before, or it literally is you guys just trying to hijack a name, you know?
Yeah.
Like it's like a Ghostbusters, all female Ghostbusters, you know?
That was the biggest IP jacking of all time. Like female Ghostbusters movie. It'll go down in legend.
The Ghostbusters are female. It's like, excuse me, who asked you? Like, what are
The
we
Force
talking
is
about
female.
right now?
What isn't female anymore?
I thought we lived in a male-female world.
The men are female. What is left is not female.
Yeah, what the fuck? Princess Leia is a man.
Oh boy. Well, what did you? So let's get into the. We kind of talked about it a little bit at the beginning, but let's go a little bit deeper into the Bowser thing. So, Bowser
And transgender, but just get it off get out of your head, dude. Bowser's transgender in this. Okay, guys.
Well-
Sorry if you haven't seen it. All right,
Well,
Bowser chops his penis off.
they kind of, yeah, I don't know. Like they kind of portray Bowser a bit like an incel. The way that he treats Princess Peach is not so typically. I mean, let's be honest, most of the early Mario games didn't have a whole lot of lore, but like if you really do like an amalgamation collective of all the existing lore of the, the mainline early Mario games, Bowser wanted to kidnap Princess Peach, but he wasn't writing her love songs. He was not making winky faces and trying to kiss her. Like he was taking her. Like this was a non-consensual situation. Like this is so the way they're kind of portraying him now is sort of like, I'm an incel that's blackmailing you into being my wife, rather than I'm King Koopa, I take what I want. I'm Khal Drogo. I'm the stallion that'll fuck the world, or whatever the fuck Khal Drogo used to say in Game of Thrones. Bowser was essentially Khal Drogo. But now they've Jack Blacked him into no man's land. I'm not quite sure how to describe him in this game, in this movie.
Well, original Bowser was always kind of nebulous to me because they never really talked about his motivations for kidnapping Princess Peach. So it always left me to wonder if Bowser, and I'm talking about the original games, obviously. I'm not talking about like whatever Sunshine or Galaxy or Odyssey, all those, because I never really played any of those ones too much. So I don't really know the story in depth, but all the other ones, it was very ambiguous whether Bowser didn't like Mario and he knows Mario and Peach were a thing, so he's kidnapping her for that, or if like he was kidnapping Peach to somehow for like blackmail over the Toadstool Kingdom. It was like, but the farthest thing, what I never would have guessed is Bowser actually liking Peach. Like that was never really, I don't remember that at all.
No, and if he did like her, it was in a much more rapey kind of like Lord Bolton from Game of Thrones. Yeah. I'm kind of on a Game of Thrones kick here comparing, but let's just say it was a much more rapey vibe. Not it
just always felt like
I'm gonna be like oozing ooh at you because I love you, Princess Peach. Yeah. And if you don't love me back, I'll blackmail you. Like it's just
it's kind of funny because like now that we're saying it, like they almost make fun of the idea of what Bowser is in the movie. Like when he's announcing it to his own people and they're like, what the fuck? Yeah. Like, that's whack, yo. And he just burns one of them. They're like, okay, chill.
Yep. One of the many reasons this movie kicks ass right there. You just named one of the many reasons. Like anytime that this movie is about to make a misstep, it has a sort of counterbalance that happens.
Yeah.
So nothing ever, it always keeps balance. It just never stumbles because of it. It's damn fine writing, even if the Bowser character is a little weird in this movie. And let's just get down to brass tacks. The piano thing, which to a lot of people is the highlight of this movie. I've talked to a lot of people that watch this movie and their favorite part is the Peaches song with Bowser. What is your verdict on that? And
they're homosexuals.
I was not kidding. On them. Damn, dude. Red alert.
Cut that. No, it's again, it's the only thing in the whole movie where it kind of took me out of it. Didn't like ruin it for me, but it was like literally the only time in the movie where I was just like, oh, I'm not watching a Mario movie now, you know? So now I'm watching Jack Black do a piano performance in a CGI Bowser video
Yeah,
clip.
it did
like
kind of.
it's like a music video with Mario theme on it.
It did kind of feel fourth wall breaking. It did feel like Bowser suddenly became Jack Black instead of being Bowser.
Well, yeah, and it's like it'd be one thing if Bowser was Jack Black in the movie, like
Yeah.
in a way, like where I'm saying like it's just Jack, like literally Bowser acts like Jack Black would in any of his other movies, but it wasn't like that. 99% of the time, Bowser was how Bowser should be, tyrannical, but just being voiced by Jack Black. But then this scene happens, and Bowser literally becomes Jack Black for no explanation. There's no reason why he should be a master piano person or even be musical or even have that type of fucking skill, like it's just out of nowhere. So it almost by design is fourth wall breaking, which, again, that's why it took me out of it so quickly.
And you didn't laugh at it at all? Didn't find it that funny?
No, it was a funny song.
Okay.
Oh, for sure. Like it wasn't terrible. Like I didn't hate it. Again, it was just like a moment where it's like it breaks the illusion it's like a break in the ride,
Mm-hmm.
It's like when you're doing the roller coaster and round one stops and they let more people on, but some reason they let you stay on. You're like it's a delineation line where you're like, okay, that ended and this started.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you there. It's definitely a little bit jarring. And then the post-credit scene, I'm taking it you didn't see the post-credit scene?
No, I did the Yoshi egg.
The post-credit scene I saw was miniature Bowser doing the piano song again, but this time in his little miniature cage.
Oh, that was like the pre-post-credit scene, like where it was like just a couple credits and then it went to that. But if you actually go past all the credits, like for like an MCU movie or something, there was a thing where pretty much the camera panned all the way back down to the sewers where they initially got into the Toadstool world, and there was like a bunch of rubble, and there was a Yoshi egg, and it cracked, and you hear Yoshi go "Yahee!" or whatever he fucking does.
Yeah,
which makes me think, for no other reason besides the Yoshi egg, we possibly might get Yoshi story next, which would be dope.
Probably be Super Mario World movie.
Yeah. Or not what's the first one? Yoshi Story is the 64 one.
The very first time Yoshi existed was the original Super Mario World for SNES. He was not in any of the NES. Although there is a creature in Mario 2 that is similar to Yoshi, but it's
I'm talking about the game that you play Yoshi and Mario and Luigi are babies. Remember?
That
you hold
one,
Yoshi. It's right after Super Mario World for the SNES.
that one is, I think,
it's not
Super
Yoshi's...
Mario World 3, because I don't. It's either Super Mario World 2 or 3.
Oh, so it was just called the direct sequel.
It was, yeah.
So Yoshi's Story is the one that's on 64. That's like that game, but it actually is just called Yoshi's Story.
Yeah.
Was that just a remake of that game, or was that actually a sequel to that one?
It's funny. Say that again?
So now I'm kind of confused. So if the original Yoshi game was just a direct sequel, Super Mario World 2 or whatever, was the one on the 64 just a remake of that game? Because they were the exact same game, weren't they?
I don't think so.
No.
I never played the N64 version, so I don't know for sure, but I recall it being a different game. But
okay.
The one on SNES stands out to me because Carly, our sister, liked that game a lot. She liked it way more than she liked the original Super Mario World, and I always thought that was whack because I'm like, dude, the original Super Mario World's way better. But she loved the one with Yoshi and the baby. But it was all right. Like I didn't hate it, but the original Super Mario World is just like a Titan legendary class game that is dwarfs so like. It's really hard to quantify how great of a game the original Super Mario World is.
Oh, to this day, it's still good.
Yeah. It's just a masterclass in 2D platform game design. Just masterclass.
It ages. The graphics still age really well to this day.
Yep.
Like, if you look at it, it's not like NES games or even its peers on the same console in that year. Like, that. Like, if you put that game in now, you'll still be impressed with how just simplistic and good-looking it feels.
Yep. It was amazing. And so I guess we're kind of running out of stuff to talk about here. I guess the last thing we haven't really talked about too much is the Mario Kart stuff. What did you think about the Mario Kart sequence?
Uh, that was cool that they even added. I wasn't even expecting it, to be honest. It was just one of those moments. It was just more fan service where it was just kind of like, damn, they're checking every box here.
Yep.
They even had I don't know if you noticed it, but at some points they changed the camera to make it look like Super Smash Bros.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So like they even had Smash Bro references in there, you know?
Yeah. I'll bet you could watch this movie 100 times and still catch new references on the 101st watch.
Oh, for sure.
So many references.
For sure. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. It's packed.
I really loved how they used the Mario Kart interface for them building the carts in the movie.
It was funny to actually seeing that in real life. It was like just looked like fucking cavemen spinning wheels. They're like, ugh.
It was awesome. I loved how they incorporated the blue shell.
Yes, dude. I loved how it was like. I love how it was like a sacrificial anime move too. He was just like, yeah, blue shell, and just kills himself and launches it.
It reminded me of Meijin Vegeta taking out Boo,
dude. For sure,
it was fucking awesome.
He's like, my final move.
Oh man, yeah,
that was solid. I really wish they would have fucking had a little bit more, though. To be honest.
It was a short movie. I mean, it was a pretty short movie, so I think proportionately wise, they spent a good amount on Mario Kart, considering it was only an hour and 20 minutes long. Or maybe an hour and a half. Definitely no more than an hour.
They gave a surprising amount of time to the DK family. Definitely. Which makes me think that they got plans, which I'm all for, dude. Let me tell you.
Yeah, I was really happy they included some Mario 2 references because there's a lot of Mario 2 hate out there. A lot of people kind of don't consider it a real Mario, and it's sort of like Zelda 2. Like Zelda 2 and Mario 2 both have this weird reputation where people don't consider them real Mario or Zelda games. I love both those games. And when we saw when Luigi went into the castle and the fucking red dudes from Mario 2 showed up, I was just like, fuck yes, this movie just started and there's already a Mario 2 reference.
Well, correct if I'm wrong, but both those games and a couple others in that time were actually not made by the OGs. They were actually made by other people, and then the reaction to them was so poor that then the OGs came back for their respectively for their games and started the course for those games that we all know today.
Maybe. I was pretty sure Shigeru Miyamoto made Mario 2.
Okay. I know at least the guy that made Zelda 2 was not the guy that made Zelda 1. I'm pretty dang sure.
Interesting. I was not sure about that. Because Shigeru Miyamoto made Mario and Zelda. So we're talking about the same guy here.
Really?
So I wonder. Yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty sure it was Zelda and Mario 2 were both made by him too. So I could be wrong about that.
Let's see.
I remember hearing a story about both Zelda 2 and Mario 2 being made so different because they didn't realize how big of a hits the originals were, and they thought because it was so early in the game industry, like it wasn't like today where everyone was like, "Oh, you need 18 Call of Duties. You just want to follow the same formula." Back then, they were kind of like, "We don't want to make the same game, right? We have to make a completely new game, or people aren't going to buy it." So the gut instinct was, we got to completely change Zelda. We got to completely change Mario when we make a sequel. I think, but then they realized,
was he always the producer? Because he was a producer of Zelda 2. He didn't direct or write or design it.
Well, he made the original Mario and Zelda. I know that. Like, he made those.
Okay.
Pretty much by himself. I mean, not by himself, but he was the main guy, and there was small teams back then. Like, we're not talking about today's game development studios of like 2,000 people. These early studio teams were like 5 guys, pretty much.
So yeah, he he actually was listed as the creator for Legend of Zelda.
Yeah,
But
he
then
is,
during
for sure.
Zelda 2, he took a producer seat and didn't do anything else. So maybe
Interesting.
I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but yeah. But you're right, he's still there. He's still
Yeah.
he's been involved with every fucking Zelda. He's keeping it real. And I didn't look up Mario, but yeah, I'm
Yeah, I
assuming
think it's the
Mario.
same story with Mario too. I think he was involved in it. Maybe it's the same where he only produced. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure he was involved as well.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean that makes sense with what you're saying too. That he would like to step back and do a producer role and like try to get young, fresh blood in there to make a completely different game.
Yeah, it was just a totally different industry back then. Like they were just babes in the woods. Like they didn't know
Babes in
shit.
the woods.
Like it's so like trying to explain
I
to
want that
someone
on a T-shirt, like "Babes in the Woods."
like people growing up now just have no fucking clue how quaint the video game industry was when we were kids. Especially
Yeah.
like there was a collapse. Like literally the video game industry as we know it is actually the reborn ashes from the first video game industry that ended up in a landfill. Like
Yeah.
it's sort of nuts.
I think that's slowly happening now. I
It
mean, dude, the
is.
term shovelware is starting to trend again. People are
Mhm.
actually using that term again.
That's because there's a lot of fucking shovelware out there. But all right, so I guess the final part is the wedding itself. Overall, what'd you think about the final sequence with the wedding? Definitely the most action-packed part of the movie.
Yeah, well, it was. Yeah, I was gonna say it. I mean, it was cool. It wasn't my favorite part by any means, but a lot of action, pretty cool. I love that Luigi. Like, I swear they were about to kill Luigi off for a second. I was about for just a second. I was like, "Damn, they're doing Luigi dirty in this movie, dude." Especially they were just mocking him by putting him with the Mario Sunshine Star. It's like
Mhm.
psychotic, dude. That guy also deserves a fucking Academy Award, whoever voiced that goddamn star.
Yeah.
Finally, the sweet release.
Yeah,
It's like-
that was yeah, he was one of the best parts too, along with fucking Keegan Michael Key is his Toad, and then that little ghost guy. It was fucking
Yeah.
sick.
Oh, wait a minute. Is he the ghost? I thought. What is that character from?
The little ghost star guy.
Yeah.
Uh,
I thought he was the Galaxy from Mario Galaxy
yeah.
or Sunshine or whatever. But I could be
The
wrong.
thing is I'm pretty sure that he is from a like late stage Mario game that I didn't play because I didn't know who the star guy was. So I assumed he was from like Mario Sunshine or something like that, which I played all the original Marios all the way up to Mario 64, and then I pretty much stopped, and then I came back at the end of the Wii era. So like when New Super Mario Brothers World came out or whatever, like those
Yeah.
those
I
games.
remember
That's when I
playing that
jumped
with you.
back on. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like there's a whole bunch of ones that I just totally skipped. So I'm assuming he's from one of those. But either way, that character kicked ass, and whoever voice acted him kicked ass. So great work. I
It's
loved
interesting,
how
man. They like really are like almost trying to boot a universe up with this movie. Just
I don't think they're
smashing
trying.
in so many people in.
I think they did it. Like this movie's getting
They did.
Dude, there ain't no fucking way this movie ain't getting a sequel and fast, dude. It's
the
coming.
only people that like now that I'm thinking about it, maybe they could pivot eventually. Yeah, because I mean, if they start with Mario, they could pivot into like a Brawls tournament, and then Zelda and Samus and all the other weird ones can pop up from there that they don't really want to
It
like
can be like
actually
the
like.
MCU, but with
Yeah.
Nintendo's the NCU. Yeah.
It's funny that I'm even thinking about it now because like I swear I just read an article where Shigeru or whatever his name was talking about his desire to see Zelda on the silver screen.
Mm-hmm. Oh fuck yeah, I'm down. I'd totally down for a Metroid too. Have fucking Sigourney Weaver voice act Samus. I'm fucking in, dude. I'm fucking
honestly, a 90s style Metroid Prime alien like clone would be one of the coolest things I could ever see on the screen.
Fuck yeah,
that would
dude.
be so cool to see put together, man.
Mm-hmm. It fucking like dude, this movie kicking so much ass in the box office is helping those odds a lot. So let's just keep our fingers crossed here and hope that the media fucking sucks a giant chode as they fall into the deep abyss of the ocean where all of the other naysayers rest. Fuck you. Fucking trying to take down this movie. It's like one of the greatest animated movies of all time. Chris Pratt.
That's crazy. I can't believe it got. The critics had the balls to try to pan it.
Oh, dude. There's going to be an article that comes out tomorrow that says the success of the Mario Brothers movie shows us that white supremacy is still alive and well. Like, tomorrow. It's going to come out tomorrow, dude. Like, it's fucking sick. It's stupid and sick, and I'm just fucking done with that crap. And thankfully, the people came out and made this happen, so fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah.
I also...
And guess what? Dune 2's happening still, and there's a whole lot of white people in there. A lot of white people in the desert. I don't know. Question mark?
God, I wish people would stop obsessing with race. I'm so sick of it. Every time I hear anyone bring up race for any reason, I'm just like, ugh, immediately. It doesn't matter what the context is, period. I'm just like so fucking sick of it. Let's just make art. Fuck race.
Because it's numbing. I think that's why they're so mad about AI, because AI is about to give so much, like the gates are going to open with such a deluge of fucking entertainment that they're not going to be able to keep up. They're not going to be able to be like, they're racist over there, they're racist over there, they're racist over there, they're racist. They're going to be, their fucking head's going to spin off.
Yeah.
They're not going to be able to.
Corporations will no longer have a monopoly on high-end entertainment as we know it. Like right now, you can be an indie filmmaker, you can be an indie game developer, and you can make an indie product. Okay. But the thing that separates you from the big boys is the budget, and the budget allows them to do things that ... AI will let you do for free. And that is why they are scared as shit, because like you said, they are losing a big amount of leverage they have against the everyday person who wants to actually make art, but doesn't have $500 million to throw behind some bullshit.
Yeah.
But getting back to the movie, I really liked how Bowser's final move was summoning Bomber Bill, because one of my favorite things from Super Mario World, I bounce back and forth between Mario 3 and Super Mario World being the best, but really, if I'm really honest with myself, the only reason I even put Mario 3 there is nostalgia, whereas Super Mario World is more brain and Super Mario 3 is more heart. You know what I mean? Like, obviously Super Mario World's the better game, and I'm just
as Bungie would put it, Super Mario World is the final shape. Okay.
Yes. And Bomber Bill was a big part of Super Mario World. Like, he was like a mini boss that sort of just showed up every once in a while. Bomber Bill was badass, and I loved that Bowser's, like, that was his Kamehameha wave, was fucking sending Bomber Bill out. That was fucking awesome. And speaking of Mario 3, I'm glad that the raccoon suit was his final form to rescue fucking Luigi, and that was pretty awesome too.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Did you notice in the very beginning when they were doing the Mario Brothers commercial?
Yes.
For the plumbing business, they had the capes on for Super Mario World.
I did notice that. It's fucking awesome.
Which is pretty much just the successor to what the raccoon suit was.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean,
same thing, right? They just made you. They
pretty much the same.
They worked the same way too, didn't they?
Pretty much, yeah. Like the only thing is that the raccoon suit couldn't do the fucking the blackout dive bombing thing where you dive down and then flap back up a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Raccoon suit couldn't do that, but other than that, they pretty much worked the exact same.
Damn, dude. Now I'm thinking about Super Mario World physics were state of the art, bro.
That game.
You can fly in that game?
Dude.
Damn, man.
Yeah. Dude, honestly, that game's code should be released to the public as a public service for all video game developers. Like, it should be required. Like, if you go to video game development school, chapter 1, all you do is just read the source code of Super Mario World, because that fucking game is a work of art. And it's, like you said, it stands up today, 30 years later. Fucking just stands up like no one's business.
what's this word? I can't. What is that? I've never seen that before. Optimization? What is that? What is
That happens right after you sunset the game and cancel the optimization.
Yeah. I've never gotten that far.
Someone went to the Dreadnought board meeting, like, are we going to optimize this game? They're like, we're going to shut the servers down next month. Yeah. Thank you for your input. Oh, shit. All right. Well, yeah, I mean, any final thoughts on this movie? Is just like a fucking awesome fucking movie. And it's like, there's nothing like really prolific that happens plot wise, but it doesn't matter. It's just like, I don't know, man. It's hard to explain the greatness of this movie. It's just a fucking awesome piece of art that you can watch with kids, by the way, which is really rare. I don't know if you know this or not, but fucking finding movies that are fun for you to watch and your kid to watch is really hard, because most shit for like everything has swear words now. You'll watch shows that are meant for kids that'll have swear words in it and like shit where you're just like, what the fuck? Like when we were kids, we had like Nickelodeon, we had Nick at Night, right? We had like all that. We had Are You Afraid of the Dark? This was like kid stuff, right? It was for teenage kids, like kind of tween-age kids, right? All of the teenage stuff today, Nicholas, all has fucking sex and fucking swearing, and it's just like, I can't watch this with my fucking kid. What are you talking about? Yeah. Like if you go on Netflix and just look up any popular show that's popular with the kids in junior high, you'll look at it. It's rated MA.
Oh yeah, with like dude, all kinds sure. Like of Euphoria. Shit. You're talking about like Euphoria, yeah, dude. And fucking
Euphoria is an extreme example, but it's all like that in that same vein, dude. Yeah, I just can't even believe it. I'm like, oh, I'll watch this show.
Sex and drugs sell, dude.
Yeah, like I'll be like, oh, I can watch this show with my daughter. Sweet, because I struggle to find shit I can watch with her because a lot of shit's inappropriate. So when I find something I can watch with her, I'm like, yeah. Then I'll put something on and I'll be like, this is good. And then I'll get 10 minutes in and it'll be like, fuck you, motherfucker, fuck. And I'm like, what? What the hell?
You're starting to get it. Now you know why. You have to build a compound out in the middle of Idaho to truly be free anymore.
Someday the crack cellar might become the crack bunker, located in undisclosed region
crack
of Idaho.
Compound. It's a compound. I ain't living in no bunker.
And on that
is where I keep all my not AR-15s for all you liberals out there.
Before we get put on a list, broadcaster, let's do one more sort of thought experiment before we get to our rating. Sequels being made, no matter what, it's going to happen. Let's do our guess. What do you think the sequel to this movie is going to be about? Now, they already put Yoshi in, so it's a pretty easy answer to just say Yoshi. So let's go a little bit beyond Yoshi being involved. Think of, like, overall, just a broad picture of what you think the sequel is going to be like. Any new characters do you foresee coming in? Maybe?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's rather going to be a continuation of exactly what you saw, so just a mashup. Somehow they're going to get the Donkey Kong characters involved with the Mario crowd again, and they're going to make some, maybe Bowser escapes from his jar, maybe the wizard, what's his name? I forget, Bowser's wizard. I know, like he might get powered up, and he might be a problem.
Yeah, his name is like Kami or something like that. It's like something out of Dragon Ball Z. I remember. Yeah. It's a weird
that. Or they go the more dedicated route of doing like something more focused, like a Mario Galaxy or Sunshine thing, where because that star was there in the cage. Yeah. Or they could do the Luigi's Mansion spinoff, like they kind of insinuated. Or they could, and this is the wild card, but this would be my favorite. Would be what I talked about earlier, the Super Smash Bros. Thing, because it would be really cool if they just directly pivoted from here, and next Mario, they can even call it, they could call it Mario Super Smash Brawl or whatever, like Mario Brawl or whatever. But it would be a Smash Bros tournament, Like he's some like for
Mm.
some reason Toadstool Kingdom has signed up for the Smash Bros tournament, and there's some type of
So
reason why
basically,
Mario has to join the tournament.
so it's gonna be
And
like
that
Dragon
would
Ball Super, pretty much, but for Mario.
yeah, and
There we go.
that just gives them full bore license to fucking just do exactly what they did with the first movie. Just
Okay.
give you all the characters you want to see. That allows they could go in any direction they want if they do that for real. Like they could give you Link, they could give you Pikachu, they could give you Ness, they could give you Samus, they could give you more obscure fucking characters like Roy or what was the other character from Fire Emblem? Roy and
Marth or
yeah, Mario. I think it is Marth. Just all kinds of
yeah.
it'd be super cool, and I would love to see it.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I'd love to see that too. And I think that's coming. I don't think that's the next movie though. I think that's like 2 or 3 movies down the line. I think the next one is going to be a take on Super Mario Land, the Game Boy Marios. I think that we're going to get Wario and Waluigi and probably Princess Daisy. And
Yeah,
there's going to be like a sort I don't think Bowser is going to be I think Bowser is either not going to be in the next one, or it's going to be like a Vegeta situation where like Bowser temporarily or
anti-hero.
yeah, he's going to become an anti-hero for the movie and help them against Wario or something. I have a strong feeling that this is going to be like the Wario movie.
Man, I mean, I really want to see Wario. Don't get me wrong, but I want to see them go more in the sleazebag scumbag route for Wario than be like a serious villain.
Yeah.
Because that's where Wario thrives,
Mm-hmm.
right? When he's scamming people, not fucking plotting against the world.
Yeah. Yeah, and I want the guy to play Wario. You've seen Matilda, right? That like the old Matilda movie from when we were kids.
Yeah.
You remember that? Remember the dad, the guy who plays Matilda's dad, like the sleazy
Danny
car
DeVito?
salesman?
Danny DeVito?
Yeah. So like I want a sort of Danny DeVito from Always Sunny style Danny DeVito performance for Wario from either
he was born for Wario.
Now here's the thing. Now this is the part where maybe I'm going a little too deep here, but I want this to be. We already have Charlie Day, so this connection's already made.
Yep.
I want fucking Danny DeVito as Wario, and I want the
know where you're
guy
going.
who plays Danny DeVito's brother in Always Sunny, the sleazebag brother he has that they like fought over that girl. You remember what I'm talking about?
He actually looks like Wario.
I want him to play.
If I'm not lying,
I want him to play Waluigi. I want them to play off of each other the exact same way they do in Always Sunny.
I thought you were going to say Glenn Howerton for Waluigi.
Glenn Howerton.
I was thinking what Glenn Howerton for Waluigi and Danny DeVito for Wario. That'd be fucking too good. But then again, dude, legitimately, the guy that plays fucking Frank's brother in Always Sunny straight up looks like a live action Wario.
Yeah.
So it's kind of uncanny now that I think about it.
Yeah.
He's just too tall. He needs to be shorter.
and you know what? That you can flip flop it too. Danny DeVito can be Waluigi and he can be Mario or Wario. I don't care which one plays which, but I want those two together playing the evil Mario brothers because they're perfect.
That would be so good.
They're just fucking perfect.
Yeah, that's truly that needs to happen.
We'll write this into the Always Sunny podcast and see if they can put a word in.
Yeah, dude,
I'm sure Charlie
Day's
got it.
He has to. He's a great mind. He has to already be on this page. There's no doubt about it.
He probably already had the idea. Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, I got Waluigi and Wario back in the other set if you need them. I work with them.
Hell yeah. All right, broadcaster. Well, as you know, here in the Crack Cellar, we have an official, patented Mr. Satan rating system, which we use for all of our reviews. And within the confines of that system, broadcaster, what do you rate the Super Mario Brothers movie?
Mr. Satan. This is getting off the. This is off the stratosphere.
Holy
This is
shit!
off the list.
Did you just invent a new rank? S plus.
This is a special consideration rank. It's not S. It's better than A.
Oh, so you're replacing Peter Stormare with Mr. Satan. I approve. I agree with that. He is a better Satan.
It's well, if you review the records, I gave you a Mr. Satan and another special class Satan for special requests. Go review the records, okay? Mr. Satan is an official rank. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
But anyways, I mean, if I'm being real here, it's dude. It is S, dude.
Yes.
There's no doubt about it. But there are things, like I said, with the Bowser thing, you know, there are critiques you can make for sure. It's just, I don't know. I kind of hesitate to give it an S, but yeah, it's an S. Why not?
Yeah, it's got to be, because if this isn't an S, what is?
This isn't an S. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I don't know, dude. Ugly Sonic and Chip and Dale was legendary, dude. I talk about that scene with people, and they just don't get how, like, if you are an internet person, you know, yeah, if you just like, it's just like the history and how quickly it played out, like to see the whole Sonic debacle, to see like how well it turned out, then to see somehow that ugly Sonic was kicking around in the fucking back, and he appears in a fucking movie that no one thought they were even going to get, a live action Chip and Dale. And he's just some fucking character expo reject. He has his own booth where he's smiling for kids. It's so fucked up, dude.
Yeah.
Anyways, whoever coordinated that whole thing is legendary.
Yeah.
I hope he's living in a mansion somewhere.
That movie was great, and it was also much more tailored towards adults, whereas this movie was tailored to kids, but also staying absolutely true to itself in every way possible. So it's because of that, it appeals to adults who grew up with it, because of how true it stayed to itself. But it's still aimed at kids, whereas that fucking Rescue Rangers movie, that was aimed at 38-year-old dudes right now. It was not aimed at kids today. Like,
and that's mainly because Chip and Dale is never carried on.
No,
it's not a kid IP, and like it just stopped. Whereas Mario is still very much alive to this day. So
yeah, that's true.
It's marketed to a different crowd for sure.
Definitely. So yeah, I'll also give it an S. A strong Tim Curry, pretty much perfect. And any criticism that I could lob against this movie wouldn't work in the context of it being less than an hour and a half long. If this was like a 2-hour movie or like 2-hour plus movie, maybe I'd have a little bit more criticism. But what they did in under an hour and a half, dude, the new John Wick movie is like 3 hours, 10 minutes, dude. Like,
did you watch it?
It's fucking incredible. Action movies are supposed to be short. Like, that's like the point of action movies. They wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. That's where that saying comes from, is action movies. Like, now that we're just jumping the shark like this with movie length, it's really cool to see a movie come in and be like, nah, we're going to be here for an hour and 25 minutes. And you're going to be like, fuck, I wanted more. And that's what this movie does, to a point where it eliminates any criticism you'd have against it, because it goes by so fast.
It really does. When the wedding was over and the movie ended, I was really surprised. I thought there was going to be more after that.
Because you're used to the 3-hour movie, which is now the standard, dude. It's crazy. That's intermission for most movies. That's the halfway point for most. I want
my MCU Mexi Platter sized movie. Okay, where's my Mario?
And with that, we will close out.
I'd laugh so fucking hard, dude, if they threw shade at John Leguizamo.
I hope so.
In the next one.
I hope so.
They offer him Waluigi. But maybe I don't know how they could squeeze him in.
Honestly, if they brought him on, period, I would have a weird feeling about it because he openly dissed the movie, dissed all the fans going to see it, and just cried racism.
Wait a minute, he dissed the fans?
Yeah, dude. Like,
what?
Yeah, well, it wasn't like a straight up diss, but it was like one of those sort of roundabout disses, like, well, I don't know about you, but I'm not going to support these racists and go see their movie. Like, it's sort of like one of those things where it's just like, go fuck yourself, dude. I fucking hate that guy. That is one of the most obnoxious people alive right now, John Leguizamo. Rest in fucking shit.
It's funny how quickly I will not take someone seriously if they even like begin to spew that rhetoric.
Yep.
These racist isms.
It's so racist.
Like,
it's so racist not to include Latinos in a movie about Italian plumbers. Like, what? Oh,